In the land of Israel, during the reign of Shaul, the first Melech of the people, there lived a young shepherd boy named Dawid. Dawid was the youngest son of Yishai, a man from the town of Bethlehem. While his older brothers were strong warriors, Dawid spent his days tending sheep in the fields, singing praises to Adonai, the Elohei of Israel, and playing his kinnor, a harp. One day, Adonai spoke to Shemuel, the Navi, and told him to anoint a new Melech to lead the people of Israel. Go to Bethlehem, Adonai said, to the house of Yishai, for I have chosen one of his sons. Shemuel obeyed and met Yishai's family. One by one, Yishai's sons passed before Shemuel. Each time, Shemuel thought, surely this is the one. But Adonai said, do not look at his appearance or height, for man sees the outward appearance, but Adonai looks at the heart. Finally, Shemuel asked, are these all your sons? Well, they're still the youngest, Yishai replied, but he is tending the sheep. Dawid was brought before Shemuel. He was young, ruddy, and bright-eyed. Adonai said, this is the one. Shemuel anointed Dawid, and from that moment, the Ruach of Adonai was within him. Sometime later, the armies of Israel faced the Philistines in battle. Among the enemy was a giant warrior named Goliath, who challenged Israel to send a champion to fight him. Day after day, Goliath mocked the armies of Israel, and no one dared to face him. Even Shaul was afraid. When Dawid came to the battlefield to bring food to his brother, he heard Goliath's taunts. Who is this uncircumcised Plishti who dares defy the armies of the living Elohim? And though his brothers mocked him, Dawid volunteered to fight Goliath, trusting in Adonai to deliver him. Shaul offered Dawid his armor, but it was too large. Instead, Dawid took his sling and 5 smooth stones from a stream. Facing Goliath, he declared, you come against me with sword and spear, but I come against you in the name of Adonai, the Elohim of Israel. With 1 stone, Dawid struck Goliath in his forehead, and the giant fell. The army of Israel triumphed, and Dawid became a hero. Shaul has slain his thousands, but Dawid his tens of thousands. After Dawid's victory over Goliath, he was brought to Shaul's court, where he met Yehonathan, Shaul's eldest son. From the moment they met, Dawid and Yehonathan's souls were knit together in a deep and abiding friendship. Yehonathan, recognizing Dawid's righteousness and bravery, loved him as his own soul. Yehonathan made a covenant with Dawid, pledging loyalty and friendship despite knowing that Dawid was destined to take the throne that by lineage would have been his. To seal this covenant, Yehonathan gave Dawid his royal robe, his armor, sword, bow, and belt, symbolic of his acceptance of Adonai's will for Dawid to become Melech. Dawid served faithfully in Shaul's court, and his military successes brought him great renown. But as Dawid's fame grew, Shaul's jealousy turned to hatred. Shaul sought to kill Dawid, and Yehonathan became Dawid's most steadfast ally and protector. When Shaul's intentions became clear, Yehonathan warned Dawid. The 2 friends met in secret, and Yehonathan pleaded with his father on Dawid's behalf, saying, let not the Melech do wrong to his servant Dawid. He has not wronged you. What he did has brought you great benefit. He risked his life to kill Goliath, and Adonai gave Israel a great victory through him. Though Shaul temporarily relented, his hatred soon resurfaced, and he made several attempts on Dawid's life. Yehonathan risked his own safety to protect Dawid, secretly informing him of Shaul's plans and helping him escape. Before Dawid fled, the 2 friends met again in the field. Yehonathan, knowing it might be their last meeting, reaffirmed his covenant with Dawid, saying, go in peace, go in shalom, for we have sworn friendship with each other in the name of Adonai, saying, Adonai is witness between you and me, and between your descendants and my descendants forever. Dawid fled in the wilderness, where he and his men often hid in caves to escape Shaul's soldiers. In the wilderness of Ain Gaidi, Shaul and his men pursued Dawid relentlessly. One day, Shaul entered a cave to relieve himself, unaware that Dawid and his men were deep hiding inside. Dawid's men whispered, "This is the day Adonai spoke of when he said, 'I will give your enemy into your hands.'" Quietly, Dawid crept toward Shaul, but instead of harming him, Dawid cut the corner of Shaul's robe. Even this small act troubled Dawid's heart. He returned to his men and rebuked them, saying, "Adonai forbid that I should do such a thing to my master. Adonai is anointed, or to lay my hand on him, for he is the anointed of Adonai." When Shaul left the cave, Dawid followed him and called out, "My master, the Melech!" Shaul turned, and Dawid bowed low to the ground. "Why do you listen when men say Dawid is bent on harming you?" Dawid cried. "This day you have seen with your own eyes how Adonai delivered you into my hands in the cave. Some urged me to kill you, but I spared you. I said, I will not lay my hand on my master because he is Adonai's anointed." When Shaul heard Dawid's words, he wept aloud and said, "You are righteous, more righteous than I. May Adonai reward you for the way you have treated me today. I know you surely will be Melech." In a tragic turn, Yohanatan was killed alongside Shaul in a battle against the Plishtim. When Dawid received news of their death, he was overcome with grief. He lamented, "Mahi hadumani have fallen. I grieve for you, my brother Yohanatan. Your love for me was wonderful, more wonderful than that of women." After the deaths of Shaul and Yohanatan in battle against the Plishtim, Dawid mourned deeply, composing a lament for Shaul and Yohanatan, which he taught to the people of Israel. Despite his grief, the time had come for Dawid to fulfill the destiny Adonai had placed before him. The tribe of Yehuda recognized David as their Melech, and he was appointed in Chevron. The division led to a prolonged conflict between the house of Shaul and the house of David. For 7.5 years, David ruled over Yehuda while the rest of Israel followed Ishbosheth, Shaul's surviving son. The division led to a prolonged conflict between the house of Shaul and the house of David. However, David grew stronger as Adonai blessed him, while Ishbosheth's power weakened. Eventually, Ishbosheth was assassinated by his own men, and the elders of Israel came to David in Chevron. They acknowledged him as Adonai's chosen Melech, saying, "We are your own flesh and blood. Even though Shaul was king, you led Israel in battle. And Adonai said to you, 'You will shepherd my people, Israel, and become their ruler.'" David was anointed Melech over all of Israel at the age of 30, beginning a reign that would last 40 years. One of David's first acts as Melech was to establish a unified capital for Israel. He captured the fortified city of Yerushalayim, also known as Zion, from the Uvusim, when Yerushalayim became both the political and spiritual center of the kingdom, a city that symbolized unity for all the tribes of Israel. David brought the Aron Habrit, the Ark of the Covenant, to Yerushalayim with great celebration. He danced before Adonai with all his might, clothed in a linen ephod, expressing his unreserved joy and devotion to Adonai. This act of worship demonstrated David's humility and deep spiritual connection to Adonai. Under David's leadership, Israel achieved unprecedented military success. Adonai granted him victory over surrounding nations, including the Plishtim, Moab, Edom, and Aram. David expanded Israel's borders from the Euphrates River in the north to Negev in the south, fulfilling Adonai's promise to Abraham about the land. David established garrisons and conquered territories, securing peace and stability. His justice and righteousness in governing the people became hallmarks of his reign. As the scriptures say, David reigned over all Israel, doing what was just and right for all his people. During David's reign, he expressed his desire to build a permanent house for Adonai, a temple where the Aron Habrit could reside. However, through the Navi Natan, Adonai told David that he was not the one to build the temple, as he had been a warrior who shed much blood. Instead, Adonai promised to establish David's house forever. "Your house and your kingdom will endure forever before me. The throne will be established forever." This covenant, known as the Davidic covenant, pointed to the coming of the Mashiach, who would be a descendant of David. Though David was a man after Adonai's own heart, he was not without fault. His greatest moral failure occurred when he took Bathsheba, the wife of Uriah, and orchestrated Uriah's death to cover his sin. Adonai sent the Navi Natan to confront David using a parable to reveal the gravity of his actions. Stricken with grief, David repented deeply, writing Psalm 51, a heartfelt plea for forgiveness. Create in me a clean heart, O Yahuwah, and renew a right spirit within me. Though Adonai forgave David, the consequences of his sin rippled through his family. His household was plagued by strife, including the rebellion of his son Avshalom, who sought to usurp his throne. David's grief over these events revealed his humanity and his reliance on Adonai for strength and guidance. In his later years, David prepared for the construction of the Beit HaMikdash by gathering materials and organizing the Levitical priests and musicians. Though Adonai had forbidden him from building the temple, David ensured that his son Shlomo had everything needed to fulfill his task. Before his death, David charged Shlomo to walk in the ways of Adonai, to obey his commands, and to rule with justice and wisdom. David's final words were a testament to his faith in Adonai's eternal covenant. The Ruach of Adonai spoke through me. His words was on my tongue. Is not my house right with Yahuwah? Has he not made with me an everlasting covenant, arranged and secured in every part? And David went the way of his ancestors after 40 years of reign, and Shlomo succeeded him as Melech. David's life and reign became a symbol of faith, repentance, and the fulfillment of Adonai's promises. His psalms written throughout his life continue to inspire worshippers of Adonai, and his legacy endures as the foundation of the Messianic hope. Through David's lineage, Adonai's promise was fulfilled in the coming of the Mashiach, known as Ben David, the son of David.